This is always a very impromptu prayer service. We don't quite know how it's going to start and how it's going to end, all right? But it depends on you guys, you know, what you want to say and what you'd like to contribute to this celebration, okay? So we're going to begin by all of us singing God Bless America, okay? Why don't we sing God bless America, land that I love, stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. I'd like to read a portion of Matthew's Gospel. Okay, it's on the Last Judgment. It's a good one though, not a horrible Last Judgment, okay? When the Son of Man comes in his glory, escorted by his angels, then he will take a seat on the throne of glory. All nations will be assembled before him, and he will separate people one from another as a shepherd separates sheep from the goats. He will place the sheep on his right hand and the goats on his left. Then the king will say to those on the right, "Come, you whom my Father has blessed. Take as your heritage the kingdom prepared for you since the foundation of the world. I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you made me welcome. Lacking clothes, and you clothed me. Sick, and you visited me, and you came to see me in prison." Then the upright will say to him in reply, "Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you drink? When did we see you a stranger and make you welcome, lacking clothes and clothe you? When did we find you sick or in prison or go to see you?" The king will answer, "In truth, I tell you, and as far as you did this to one of the least of these brothers or sisters of mine, you did it for me." Then he'll say to those on his right, "Come, receive the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world." Now, I always like that reading because it's probably incomplete. A lot of other things we can plug in there. Example, today as we're standing in front of the wall with all these people, many that you know, we can say, I was trapped in a building and you came to save me. I was injured and you bound up my wounds. I was in an accident and you tended to my difficulties. So we can keep plugging in things. And you know yourself what some of these people do, what you could plug in to that. So what I'm going to do now is just open it up, and I want you to tell us who these people are. You who know them, help us know a little more about who these people are on this wall. Can we let them speak first before?
Okay.
Okay.
Is that the end? Sure.
Yeah.
I'd like to do a reading. I'd like to
Sure.
read, okay?
You want to read that? Go ahead.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. My name is Raymond Gaffio.
Speak loud.
Hello. My name is Raymond Gaffio. I want to welcome you all to the Brooklyn Wall of Remembrance. God bless the families and survivors of 9/11. I'd like to read a little passage. What a difference a day makes. On Monday, we emailed jokes. On Tuesday, we did not. On Monday, we thought that we were secure. On Tuesday, we learned better. On Monday, we were talking about heroes as being athletes. On Tuesday, we learned who our heroes are. On Monday, we were irritated that our rebate checks had not arrived. On Tuesday, we gave money away to people we did not know. On Monday, there were people fighting against praying in schools. On Tuesday, you would have been hard-pressed to find a school where someone was not praying. On Monday, people argued with their kids about picking up their rooms, cleaning their rooms. On Tuesday, the same people could not get home fast enough to hug their kids. On Monday, people were upset. They had to wait online 6 minutes in fast food drive-through lines. On Tuesday, people did not care, waiting up to 6 hours to give blood for the dying. On Monday, we waved our flags, signifying our culture diversity. On Tuesday, we waved only the American flag. On Monday, there were people trying to separate each other by race, sex, color, and creed. On Tuesday, they were all holding hands. On Monday, we were men or women, black or white, old or young, rich or poor. On Tuesday, we were Americans. On Monday, politicians argued about budget surpluses. On Tuesday, grief-stricken, they sang, "God bless America." On Monday, the president was going to Florida to read to children. On Tuesday, he returned to Washington to protect our children. On Monday, we had families. On Tuesday, we had orphans. On Monday, people went to work as usual. On Tuesday, people went to work as usual, and they died. On Monday, people were fighting about the 10 Commandments on government property. On Tuesday, the same people all said, "God help us," while thinking, "Thou shalt not kill." It is sadly ironic how it takes horrific events to place things into perspective. But it has. The lessons learned this week, the things we had taken for granted, the things that have been forgotten or overlooked. Hopefully, we will never be forgotten again. Thank you.
Anybody want to share?
My name is Ken Haskell. My brothers Tommy and Tim Haskell were both killed on 9/11. Tommy was the captain of Ladder 132, and Timmy was a firefighter in Squad 18. Did the walk of remembrance this morning in honor of Detective McDonald and Father Judge, and couldn't help but be struck by how poignant the loss still is all this time later, and really the impact that Father Judge had on so many people's lives. And when I think about my two brothers, they really couldn't have been any more different. My brother Tommy was a very focused individual. Had he still been alive, there's no doubt in my mind he'd be a staff chief, if not the chief of department probably right now. My brother Timmy would probably be down here surfing in the waters off of the boardwalk. You know, that's just how they were. But they loved the fire department, they loved what they did, and they cared deeply about people. And that's what resonated today with me doing the walk. And that's what I feel right now. And I'm so grateful for Sal, the work that you have done, and Monsigor. I know you have a heavy heart. 32 guys were added to the wall this year. So it hasn't ended, and it won't end. And we all know that. Anybody that responded there knows that. You live with that anxiety and that fear. But it's because of people like yourself and Sal and the people that do the job that makes it palatable, it makes it tolerable. You know, to know that somebody will always be there and remember the sacrifices that guys made, that helps the families move on. So I take it as a privilege to be able to advocate for my brother's legacies. I was proud to be a New York City fireman and a New York City police officer for 26 years. And I will continue to come down here every year, and I thank you, Sal, as I do every year. Monsignor, thank you. Appreciate the fact that, you know, when people say we'll never forget, it doesn't always mean that they will. Sometimes you see some of these memorials don't even take place anymore. You know, and the fact that this is still going on every year after year, it really says a lot about the people who put it together, and I just want to thank you all for what you do. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Pat Hines Farraher, and my brother was Captain Walter Hines of Ladder 13 in Manhattan, and he worked in 2 different companies as a fireman and as a lieutenant in Brooklyn, and then he moved to Manhattan as a captain. And I'm proud of him and all the sacrifices he made, and I'm proud of my husband and my son, who are now firemen as well. And my husband was also there that night, and I just want to say they have love and giving spirits and giving hearts that culminated on 9/11. Oftentimes the slogan, like Kenny said, never forget, it seems to fade with some people. It will never fade with me. And as we go through the ceremonies each year, and I know this is 16 years, many people don't show up, many people are gone. And those who supported us may be gone. However, we cannot let them and their lives ever be forgotten. And my brother was a very loving, giving person. He also became a lawyer by going to law school at night so that he could support his family. And oftentimes I say, well, why don't you retire from the fire department? Because he was old enough to, and just do that. And he would say, no. That's the job I love. I only do this to help support my income, because he had 3 daughters and he wanted to give them everything. So he did that as an aside job, but oftentimes it didn't help him any, because if you knew him, he wouldn't charge you. Whether he was closing on your house or helping you adopt a baby or get out of some kind of trouble, he'd say, oh no, they're my friend, I can't charge them. So it really didn't accomplish what he thought it was, because he was so generous and giving, and gave of his time and he gave of his heart. But oftentimes when we look back and say, sometimes it breaks my heart to see less and less people. I remember the verse from the Bible that says, where 2 or 3 are gathered in his name, I will be in their midst. And as few or as many of us are here, he's here with us tonight, and so are they. Thank you.
Thank you. You have to speak up. Because,
I know, but I'm going to try to get through this, because after 16 years, I still have trouble getting my point across. Most of my words are through the computer, my internet. This way, nobody sees the tears that are flowing. But I was searching for something to say tonight after 16 years, and I came across something a widow had written. She just lost her husband, in 2009 from cancer. You have to remember the ones who are dying after 9/11. And she wrote, I don't know if I will ever remember what it was like before. As we head into the day that changed our lives forever, it is my hope that we never forget. It is my hope that those who were lost their lives on 9/11 continue to be spoken of, and that those who died after will always remain in our hearts. To be the one left behind is a horrible thing. But to think that anyone would ever forget is way worse. So that's what our purpose is now. Usually I meet the families after, funerals and gatherings, and I take their mass cards. And it's like my job now to spread their word, to post their name wherever I can. And that's how I honor the living. That's how I honor them. And I honor the families by going wherever I can and making sure nobody forgets the faces, the young faces, the children left behind. And we'll never forget. That's my promise to the families now. I can't change what happened, but I can make sure nobody ever forgets.
Anyone else?
My name is Robert Nussberger. I was a volunteer fire department in Queens. Okay, on that particular day, we were called by EMS to come to the World Trade Center. We went gladly. Okay, I was the captain on the ambulance. I was 3 other guys with me. Okay, we went to Liberty and West Street. That was our staging area underneath the crosswalk. When we got there was a captain from the EMS there, and he said, listen, you guys and the next guy's going in, so get everything ready to go. And I told my guys what to do. They met me there. We were on Liberty and West, and we got together and we started down. We got maybe 200 feet, and all of a sudden there was a large rumble, and here comes the South Tower. Okay? That there day, my whole life changed. All right? I was blown from one side of the street to the other side into the financial building. I bounced off the wall. Okay, from there I was taken to the hospital in Jersey. I had all kinds of injuries and everything else. Okay, I never left that spot. My spirit, or whatever it might be, is still there. Okay, I live a new life now, but I suffer from a lot of different ailments like everybody else that was there. Number one is emphysema and asthma, cancer. I just got cured of that, I hope. Ulcerative colitis. I had my whole insides taken out because of all the poison that we all breathed in and everything else. This should never happen again, okay? And it can happen again, okay? Let's not let it happen, okay? My heart goes out to each and everybody that survived it because they know what it is. And everybody, my prayers go out to the people that lost their lives. Tomorrow morning, I will put my uniform on very proudly, and I will go over to 9/11 to show my respect to all the brothers and sisters that lost their lives there. I don't know what my life is going to be for the rest, whatever it may be. But I live day by day, and I try to enjoy every minute that I can. But my heart is still with the fire department, okay? And that can't go away. And I feel very bad about that. Other than that, I thank you very much for listening.
Anybody else? Nice and loud.
Hi, I'm Nancy with the Wounded Warrior Project. I'm here today. I represent, I'm here with a lot of my warriors. And like the warriors that I represent today, 9/11 dramatically changed all of our lives. That day changed our lives in knowing that we were going to go to war. And because of us going to war, Wounded Warrior Project exists. When that day happened, I decided I was going to join the United States Marine Corps, and my brother Joe decided he was going to join the FDNY. I thank God every day my brother Joe was not part of the FDNY when that happened. But unfortunately, I was a part of the Marine Corps when 9/11 happened, and I did go to Iraq. And so did my fellow warriors. So like I said, that day dramatically changed a lot of my warriors' lives and why I represent them today. It was a tragic day, and a day that will live in infamy, and a day that we will never forget. And I like to think every day that I work down in New York City, and the day I pass the Freedom Tower, it's also a day that we rejoice in knowing that we did not falter that day either, that our country did not fail, that we did not fail to terrorism, that we still persevered, and that building is a reminder every day of how this country persevered, how as Americans we persevered. And I know that I did not fight in vain. I know that my fellow warriors did not fight in vain. And I know that our FDNY and our NYPD and our civilians that unfortunately took their lives that day did not die in vain either. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so
Here, our wall being in Coney Island, what the good Monsignor and Rabbi Podesta always say is, this is the place where we come to celebrate them. And we're so
really
happy.
have to be built out so everyone can hear.
This is a place where we come to celebrate them. So we're so happy that we have a place for the families to come, to remember them and to celebrate them. We also ran into some issues this year between Hurricane Sandy and the salt there and everything, that our monuments turned dark and black. And I was very upset about having people come and it didn't look in pristine condition. So with the help of the Haskell family, with the help of Premier Ford, we raised enough money and we totally restored all the bronze to pristine condition. So when people come here, it looks beautiful. And it's a place that always should look beautiful because it's for them. I have a special torch of honor that I'd like to present to Joe from Premier Ford, who took the time on our special night to raise enough money so we have a continuous support of the wall, and the wall will be here. As long as it's here, it will look beautiful. Joe, this is for you. Thank you, Joe. The other project that we have going for us is that the foundation was given steel from ground zero, and this is what the steel looked like. And I was thinking, what should we do with the steel? To put it up here is not good memories. It's just a piece of rusty steel. But if we can repurpose it into something special and make it something special. And I was lucky to get in touch with Larry Hagman. Larry was a blacksmith in Central Park for 31 years. He took our steel and he made wonderful flag holders. And like the Monsignor said, on both sides we will have the flag holders mounted with American flags coming out, and it'll be on permanent display. And it's something very special that we're going to do. The U.S., New York, the whole front of that ship was made from repurposed steel. In Israel, outside of Jerusalem, they have a beautiful monument, like a torch going up to the sky, made of repurposed steel. So by repurposing what we were able to have, I think we made something special. This is what it looks like. And it's going to be mounted on both sides. One is honor of the fire department, the other is the police department. And that's how we made the backs of the flags. So we'll always have flags here from now on.
The shield is going to put on you too.
But this is the shield,
Right.
the face of it. So that's something special. Once again, thanks everyone for coming. It's been a rough year for me as well. My wife has cancer, and we're going through a battle. And she's at the hospital tonight. Normally she likes to come and she also speaks, but hopefully she'll be with us next year. And that's the hope. Thanks again. Did everybody get a special star? If you didn't get a star, let us know. That's another thing we're doing, is we're repurposing from the American flag the Hero Star. Last Friday night I was in Long Island and we honored Gary Sinise. And we gave him a hero star. So he's definitely a hero and one of our big supporters of the wall, and especially for the fire department. Thank you. What? Sure. The Monsigor. Come to the picture. One more? Sure. Okay, thank you.
Any other speakers? All right, what we generally do at this point, we have flowers somewhere. If everyone take a flower and place it in, we have these containers by the walls. Please place the flower as close as you can to your loved one on the wall. Okay, so if everyone would please